Hey guys, what's up? It's Vince. You are about to watch or listen to a recording I did for the Fitness Business Association. It was a special keynote presentation that I did for them online, and it was all about marketing your small group programs. So hopefully you enjoy this keynote presentation I did with the Fitness Business Association on small group marketing. Thanks so much.
Hey everyone, welcome and thanks for joining us this afternoon. My name is Liz Rodriguez. I'm the Video Communications Manager here at FBA. And with me, I've got Vince Gabriele from KISS Marketing. He's going to be presenting on the topic, 5 ways to get more small group personal training clients in 2024. So, before we get started, let's just kind of dive in, talk a little housekeeping. We're going to go for around 55 minutes or so. We are going to be doing a Q&A portion afterwards. So if you already sent in your questions, thanks so much. If you do have any questions, you can either shoot them on the Zoom here or on the comment section page on the webpage. I'm going to be checking that. But we're going to go ahead and let's talk a little bit about KISS just to give you a background. So KISS provides digital marketing services, for fitness businesses so they can make the most out of what they're doing with their marketing and take some of the frustrations away. They really only work with fitness companies, and they want to make sure that they're trying to give back a little bit more, freedom and enjoying the life as a fitness entrepreneur. So from building websites to creating, social media pages, they really just aim to make your fitness business run better and be more successful. So during this webinar, we're going to be covering a couple different things, really the 5 best marketing strategies that are going to work in 2024 and why, how to get more referrals without feeling, like you're begging your clients, right? And then really the most important list that needs to be created by every gym owner that wants to have the best gym in their area. So we're going to go ahead and in terms of with Vince, so you learn a little bit about him and his wife, Vanessa, they started their training business in New Jersey back in 2007, Gabriele Fitness and Performance, and they quickly reached 7 figures. They had a lot of phone calls from gym owners asking them, what are you guys doing? And they really started to kind of make their gym the blueprint for their success. And that's what they do. They help other gym owners with becoming more successful. So I'm going to turn it over to Vince, and he's going to start his presentation. So welcome, Vince.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate it. And I'm very excited to be with you guys today and all of you that have come on live. I see a bunch of people that have also come on live to watch this, as well as those of you watching the recording. So honored to be here with you guys today. I will be talking about small group personal training, and let me kind of get right into it because Liz gave me a tight agenda. I usually take a lot longer to teach this lesson, but I'm going to try to do it in the time that she gives me. So here's my agenda. I'll just do a real brief introduction of myself as Liz just kind of did that. The second thing is we'll talk about the most profitable fit model in the fitness industry, which you might have guessed by the title is small group training. And then I'm going to tell you 5 ways to get more small group clients. So this is kind of the agenda for today. Very briefly, Liz mentioned some things. Here are some other things that my mom is really, really proud of. I'm also proud of that. I've owned a gym, and I still own a gym for 15 years. So whatever I teach to you guys, not only am I teaching to you based on things that I've taught others, but a lot of this is based on the success I've had with my own gym that still runs. I'm actually recording this podcast from my gym. I'm an author. I've written 10 books. I have a media company. I own Kiss Marketing, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff. But what I'm most proud of is the gym owners that I work with on a very regular basis. This is the members of my business coaching and mastermind group. These are people that are just doing phenomenal work in the industry. And for those of you that came on or in, also our studio or gym owners, we'd love to see you at one of our upcoming meetings. But so things are going okay, but they weren't always. And the reality of the situation is when I first started my gym, I was really, really, really struggling. To the point where I was in the parking lot late one night talking to my best friend and who was a CFO because we knew money really well. And I basically told him, you don't need money, you need to know money to understand my problem. I am dead broke and I have building racking up credit card debt. So I had owned my gym for about 2 years and I essentially had run it into the ground. And I was really struggling and really, really stressed out. and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do next. And he basically told me that, hey, you have proven that you're a good trainer, but what you really need to do is prove you're a good business person. And every business person really needs to understand marketing. And this was the moment. This was the conversation that got me curious about marketing, that got me love about marketing. And it honestly has changed my life. It's turned my entire life around from this moment in this dark parking lot that till today. And this was the real turning point for me. I started studying direct response marketing. I got a mentor, a guy by the name of Dan Kennedy. I read everything he did, read every book he wrote, took every course, went to all the seminars, and I essentially turned myself into a marketer by learning all this stuff. And that is what got my business out of the jam. And my pride and joy is teaching marketing to gym owners all around the world, because the reality is no one ever taught us how to market, right? When you open up your business license doesn't come with a marketing degree, but it's one of the most important things, that you need to have. And today, my one gym alone has held over 500,000 small group workouts. So my gym has been doing small group training since 2008. So we've been in business for over 15 years. But this one gym that I sit in today, that still runs today, has been the launching pad of four other companies. I own Kiss Marketing, the agency that we talked about. I have a consulting business. We have a Grit sports performance license. But really, what I learned about marketing was enabled me to create all of the stuff that you see today. And my epiphany was this: as long as I possess skills in marketing, I could say goodbye to worries about money like I had in that parking lot that one day, even if shite hits the fan again. And the reality of it, it did. Obviously, COVID-19 happened, and there was a lot of bad stuff that happened during COVID, a lot of gyms that went under. And I'm not saying that, like, my gym, we didn't lose a lot of members at my gym, but we were able to withstand a lot of, what happened during COVID. In addition to, I was able to lead many of the gyms in my coaching groups through this, through some of the skills that we learned about marketing. But COVID kind of left a little bit of some scorched earth, if you will, right? And the hard truth is there's less people that are going to gyms like yours and mine right now, meaning the market kind of has shrunk. And the reality is we need to get better than our competition at finding the ones that will, which means our marketing needs to be better. Okay. And why is the market smaller? Well, I mean, you guys all know this, right? I mean, I don't need to tell you. I mean, my business is in New Jersey, right? And you know how many people moved out of New Jersey down to Florida, down to the Jersey Shore? You know how many people? I have this one woman that she's in my neighborhood and she won't even look at me anymore because she used to be a client of my gym and now she's like a Peloton person, right? And she won't even look at me anymore because she's so embarrassed that she got a Peloton bike, but she ain't coming back. We had clients that put home gyms in their house. There's online personal training. We lost three of our trainers to online personal training. So all of this is reality, right? And it doesn't mean we can't be successful, but it does mean that there's a lot smaller pool to draw from because of this thing that kind of COVID created, right? And so this is a model that's tough, right? There's the large group model. I'm not saying this one specifically, but the large group model itself is tough when the market is already smaller because you need a lot of people to do this. And when you need a lot of people and you have a smaller market to choose from because of competition, because of all the stuff I mentioned, this gets a little more difficult. So this business is harder to run, not to mention the increased rising of attrition that's happened, especially of recent. That's been like moved to 4% to 6%. So a gym that has 500 members that loses 6%, that's a big, big, big number to reload. All right. You have one-on-one. Now you have the shrinking market as well. And yeah, we say, oh, we can do one-on-one. But I know that I did one-on-one forever, and it's a really tough business model. There's some people that can do it successfully, but I know that there's a lot of trainers that don't want to do one-on-one sessions all day long. And the fact that as you grow in one-on-one, you need more trainers, which is a whole nother problem in and of itself, but probably even a bigger problem than the shrinking market. And this is just boggles my mind, this whole medium group thing where you have like 15 people in the group, and it's not large group, it's not small group, it's medium group. Like I'm not really sure what it is. I think it's just large group, and or I think it's just you call it small group, but it's actually large group. But you charge large group prices, but you limit the amount of people you can have in it. So financially, it doesn't make any sense. So this is like another model that's like I call this no man's land, which is in the middle, right? And so with all of this, with this shrinking market, with these models that are suffer, what actually are we going to do? Well, we really need to play a different game. And many of you know the story of David and Goliath, and you probably think that this was an upset, but it really wasn't. It wasn't an upset. So the story is very briefly, David versus Goliath. This is this giant. He's going to kill this little kid, right? But David was a slinger. He was used to throwing rocks at animals and killing them instantly with a rock, like lions, tigers, bears. I don't know if there was bears, actually. I think it was just tigers. I don't know. I don't know what kind of, I don't know. I don't know if this is really a true story. I think it is. I'm not sure though. But the reality is, so he's used to killing these. So he stands 100 yards away from Goliath. He swings this thing in the air. He throws this stone. It hits him right in the eyes and he kills him. Wasn't an upset at all. It was completely it, Goliath was a sitting duck. David essentially had a gun and shot him between the eyes. That's essentially what it was, right? But what he did was he stayed away from him and then he threw the rock. If David goes down to the valley and fights hand-to-hand combat with Goliath, he's dead, right? And so what we need to do is if we want to be successful, we know we got the shrinking market. We know we got this all these things, this scorched earth from COVID. What we really need to do is play this different game, right? And this different game is small group training. It's to run your business with a more from less mindset. Can you make more from less? Can you make more money with less square footage? Can you make more money with less trainers? Can you make more money with less clients? Right? And small group training is the one that was able to do this. Okay. But here's the big question. The big question is this. How can we create the marketing plan that's going to deliver the steady flow of qualified leads to participate in this program at the right price structure, even with this small or market to choose from? So that's what we're here today to answer. All right. And that's what I'm going to unpack for you days. And it's just 5 ways to small group profits. How are we going to get more small group training clients in 2024? Let's get it started. Okay. So I have this story of this woman. Her name's Kathy. And she's one of my favorite clients that ever came through our program. And we ran this thing called the sweepstakes. And the sweepstakes is essentially this program where we put it out there. I think it was like a year of free training or 6 weeks of free training. Can't remember what we did at the time, right? And people would fill out an application to try to win this thing. And what they would fill out the applications, and we would look at the applications, and then we would pick the winners. At this point we picked 4 winners, right? And when we picked the 4 winners and we invited them into the gym, they got this free program, free training, and the only thing they had to do was they had to, just share their progress with the community of how they were doing. They would show pictures of themselves working out, show pictures of themselves and what they were eating and all that stuff. And so Kathy was one of the people that we picked. And so one day we're filming a video together and I'm teaching her how to squat. And I'm like, all right, we're going to do some squats today. And Kathy's going to do the squats and Kathy's going to sit her butt back. And she turns to me and she looks at me and she talks like this. And she's like, what the hell are we doing here? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, this is so boring. That's how she talks. Right. And I'm like, no, no, we're filming a video about squats. It's gonna be right. She was like, no one is gonna watch this. And I'm like, okay. She's like, let me do it. Let me do it. You get down there and get on the floor there, and I'll coach you how to do it. And so I was like, what? And so she starts coaching me. She becomes the trainer, right? And these videos are hilarious. You can actually watch these videos on some of them are on YouTube, but I think a lot of them are on our Facebook page. This is a long time ago. This was like 2016 or something like that, right? But you can still, they're still up there. You can still watch them. They're hilarious. So she starts doing this video every week. And every week, people are tuning in to the point where some of the videos that she did had like 500 comments. Like, I've never seen anything like this. The entire community turned into what this woman had to say every moment that she had to say it. And they didn't want to listen to me, but they were going to listen to her, which is the point I'm going to make in a second. But here's what happened. This became so big that people started to dress up like Kathy for Halloween to the point where some random guy came to my gym and said, "Hey, can I borrow a Gabriel fitness shirt? I'm dressing up as Kathy for Halloween." Right? She ended up getting invited on the Dr. Oz show twice. She's cell phone buddies with Dr. Oz. She was on the cover of Women's World magazine. She was asked to be on the Rachel Ray show, and then she was like, "No, no, no, I hate that witch. I ain't going on that show." So, I mean, she is like, famous in the world of fitness, if you will. And at that point in time, we were very heavy on athletes, and no one really even knew we trained adults. And a lot of people started calling up and saying, "Hey, I want to come to your gym, um, but I didn't even know you trained adults. I actually thought you were an athlete, Jim, and I want you to do what you did for Kathy for me." And that was the kind of tipping point of this whole thing. The tipping point of this whole thing was all of a sudden we were now connected with a very specific market, people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that are looking to get fit and get in shape, right? And my second epiphany was this. From 2008 to 2015, we had acquired 162 members. From 2016, which is when this happened, to 2018, we had a whole total of 304 adult members, 142 net new members in 2 years. Now, if you know about attrition, understand that that's a big, big, big number to add in 2 years. And you can see the average monthly value from that second, right? The most important decision for a successful small group program is clarity on who you're marketing towards. Understand this. Selecting people willing and able to pay premium prices is your best chance to have a profitable gym. I don't know about you, but I know that going after 30 to 30-year-old college kids, or 30, sorry, 20-year-old college kids, but even people in their 30s that are kind of just getting started, right? I understand that a lot of these people, that where they are in their life, are probably not able to pay a premium for what you really need to be charging for small group prices. Honestly, understand this: the people that pay the least are typically your worst clients, and that doing marketing directly to these people with the intention of repelling others is the goal. Now, here's what you got to do. You got to know everything about the people that you're going to decide to do your small group. One, you got to know where they live. You got to know where they are in conjunction to your facility. That's pretty self-explanatory. I probably don't need to tell you that. Okay. Two, you need to know who they are in terms of the facts about who they are. Are they male? Are they female? What age are they? All that stuff. Okay. And the third one, this is the one that's most important, is you have to understand the psychographics. You have to understand, why do these people want to buy personal training? And this is one of the most important things. Everyone wants to jump to the tactics. They want to jump to, how do I get new clients and what do I need to do? But if you don't have a really good understanding of who you are trying to get into your gym, your marketing is not going to work nearly as well. Okay. It's the example of understanding, if you're going fishing, to know that I want to go fishing for salmon. That's kind of what we're talking about here. Okay. So my poor wife, this is my wife, Vanessa. She's always, the brunt of my research. And so we're out on date night one night, and she starts, talking about how she didn't work out in the morning. And for some reason, she wasn't able to get to the gym. Most days she does. And she seemed kind of cranky that day for some reason. Okay. I think I knew the reason. The reason was she didn't work out, but she missed the workout, and she starts talking to me of how she's like, "I'm so freaking tired today." She's like, "I'm cranky. The kids were getting on my nerves lately." And she's like, and I was like, "Did you work out today?" And she's like, "No, I didn't work out." And so I take out my phone and I was like, well, how do you feel when you do work out? She's like, I feel great. I have great days. I feel energized. I feel happy. I feel patient. I feel ready to conquer. And so what I was doing, okay, and pay attention to this, what I was doing was market research. Vanessa is right in the middle of one of my clients. She's 43 years old. Okay, she's right smack in the middle of my market. And so what I always do is I always ask her questions about, all right, how are you thinking? How are you feeling? How are you thinking? Because she's what my market is thinking. And one of the most important things I can share with you today is you have to become obsessed with the market. You have to become obsessed with why these people are making the decision to one, to come to you, but also why are they making the decision to stay? Right? Because this will help with your retention as well. So we're talking about marketing today, but hey, if you want to really amp up your business and improve your retention, you still got to understand of why people stay. Why they come and why they stay are two different reasons. I got a little tangent there, okay? But the reality of this is my poor wife is always the bearer of all this brunt stuff, and you got to understand why people buy, and all of this is beauty. All of this is so helpful and so powerful to using your marketing because no one is staring at the ceiling at night saying, man, my life is complete if I can find a small group training program. Said no one. They're not thinking about that stuff. They don't care about that stuff. They don't care about your program. They don't care about your product. They don't care how your ratio is. They don't care what equipment you have. They care about what you can do for them. And that's the most important thing you got to understand. You have to understand why will they buy this, and that is what you need to start talking about in your marketing. Okay, this is one of my clients, George McGuire. He's a gym owner. He went from eight. I don't have time to go through this today, but he's a gym owner. He worked with us. He went from 8,000 to 35,000 a month. Great job, George. Okay, number two, wear your marketing gloves. There was a period of time in the industry where everyone was using Facebook to generate leads, meaning they could put a piece of dog poop on a Facebook ad, and all of a sudden they would get personal training clients. It was amazing. Okay. And then all of a sudden, my friend Zuck, we're buddies. Yeah, he changes the algorithm, and all of a sudden people go from getting, you know, dog poop on an ad, with and getting two penny leads, right? 2 cent leads to all of a sudden they're not getting anything. And they're all calling me in a panic because they know that I wasn't just a Facebook guy. They know that I had knew how to market a gym many other ways, right? And they're like, dude, Facebook ain't working anymore. What are you doing? What do you do? What do you do to get into clients? What do you do? They're panicking. And understand this, one of the worst numbers in business is one. Having one trainer is really bad. Having one way to generate leads is equally as bad. So you got to understand this. So your marketing glove is essentially this symbol, right? It's not a real glove. It's a symbol that tells you you need multiple ways to get new clients. So we've identified who this person is. Now we need multiple ways to get them. So before I give you any of the ways, which I will in a second, understand that you need multiple because there's a good chance one will stop working just like it did here in this case. Now, we still use Facebook, right? I'm not saying don't use Facebook. We use Facebook. My marketing agency does very well with Facebook ads. We do great. Okay. But it's a piece of a marketing department. It's not your marketing department. Okay. So this is like what I would consider my marketing glove starting five. Like if I could only pick 5 things to do for marketing, one is an optimized to convert websites. These people that you're hearing saying websites are dead, I mean, this is such hogwash. It really is. If someone is in your community and they're a member, they're a local person in your community and they want a personal trainer, here's what they're going to do. They're going to go to this thing called Google and they're going to Google personal trainer near me. That's what they're going to do because they have this intent that they're trying to find something and they're going to go after and they're going to go get it. Well, guess what Google is hopefully is going to show them? Your website, hopefully, right? But it needs to be optimized and it needs to be fast and it needs to convert once they get there. Okay, number two is a referral machine with 3 intentional tactics. I'm going to show you a couple things on that today. Number three is email marketing. I can't stress enough how important email marketing is. Here's the other people saying email is dead, email is dead, email is dead. Well, how did you guys get on this webinar? The good old FBA sent you an email about this webinar, and here you are. Okay. The reality of the situation, the email is not dead. It's not even close to dead. And the better you can get an email, the more money you're going to make. Number four is Facebook and Google ads. Again, I mentioned this. I wasn't knocking Facebook. I'm just being the honest truth and saying it doesn't work as well as it used to back in the day. And number five are joint ventures, which I'll talk about some stuff with that today. But if I had five things to do for marketing, I'm going to be doing this. Now, if you're looking at this and you're like overwhelmed as hell by seeing this, don't worry. You don't need to go from 0 to 5. You don't need to go from 1 to 5. My advice is just to go from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3. Okay. And start to add more. But the first thing you need to start doing is thinking about this. What is working right now for you? What is working? So for those of you live on this call, thank you for showing up. I want you to think about it. What is working? Here's how you know what's working. Where did your last client come from? Where did they come from? Did they come from a newspaper ad? Did they come from a Facebook ad? Did they come from your website? Did they walk in? Where did they come from? Okay, so that's the last person. Now, what about the last 20 people? Where did they come from? Then you'll start to see what actually is working. And here's the first thing I want you to do. When you identify what is working, what I want you to do is do more of that. Before you do anything else, just do more of that. And then the second thing you're going to do is find out where you're doing that's working and start to do it even better. So if you're writing emails, how can you write better emails? So the first phase is just using email as an example. We can write more emails. If you're emailing once a week, you could email twice a week. Okay. You're writing better emails. If you're writing, emails, that are just basically, hey, join our gym. Maybe you could write emails that, are about a customer showcase where you're talking about one of your customers that had success. That would be better. That would probably work better. And then you start thinking about what is new. But the reality of the situation is you need to start thinking about what's happening in your marketing and how can we do more of getting that message out there. I don't have a lot of time for this one, but this one, my client's Devin Gage. It's from Pennsylvania, increases revenue by 300,000 and opened 2 locations last year. Good job, Devin. Okay. Number three is build a no fail follow-up system. Some of you guys are looking for new leads. You're looking for new leads when all the leads you need, you already have. Here's the reality of the situation. You have to build a system that's really, really good at converting leads to come in. Okay. So I'm sitting on my front porch and I look at my neighbor's house and he's got solar panels on there. Right. Um, my neighbor's really smart. He's the CFO of a really, really big company. So he's really smart and he's a really successful guy. So I know he knows what he's doing. And so I go to my phone, I Google solar panels, and the solar panels come up, and I start like circling around, and I opt in for something about solar panels. Nothing happens. 3 days later, I get a call from a salesperson that's tried to sell me solar panels. I was like not even close to interested because my day had gone on. And I had 72 hours had gone by, and I thought about solar panels in that one moment, and I was not thinking about solar panels at the moment he called, and so I was like, no, sorry, I'm not interested anymore. But if I opted in and he called me right away, I probably will have solar panels on my roof right now if you follow that system. So you guys got to understand this. As leads come through the door, you have to do a really good job of following up. Now, this is a very important research project that I'm going to share with you. Okay. Very, very important. This is from the Data Handling Inquiry Service. Okay. Now, all this is going to make sense in a second. The Data Handling Inquiry Service. Out of 100 people that opt in for information about something, 50% will buy and 50% won't buy. right? So understand that alone, you just got to understand not everyone is going to buy, right? Not everyone is going to buy. Um, but 50 out of the 100 will, right? And using that 50, so those are the top two boxes are the people that buy. 15% buy in the first 100 days. Think about that. 15%, seven people out of 50 buy in the first 100 days. 85% buy in the first 100 weeks. And so some of us are like banging our head against the wall. I got no leads. I got no leads. I got no leads. Well, maybe all the leads you got just aren't ready to buy right now. But you probably have a ton of leads in your database that you could pick up the phone and call, that you could send a text message to, that are probably going to buy a little later. And that's the reality of the situation. You got to understand this. Not everyone is ready to buy right away. And if I was to buy an existing gym, I'd make money back from these four buckets. This is very important to understand. And you have to have a good grasp on these lists. One is your unconverted leads list. The people that have not converted, okay, that opted in for something that have not yet converted. Okay, second list is the unconverted trial members. These are people that tried your gym, but for whatever reason didn't join, or they did a consultation, and for whatever reason they decided not to sign up for a membership. You have former members. You have people that used to pay you money and now no longer pay you money. Well, those people will probably come back. And some of you have members on hold right now that you're just ignoring and you're kind of mad at them for going on hold. No, you got to stay close to them because they're your best chance of getting a new client, members on hold. So we always want new leads. We always want new leads. There's an ocean of money that we're actually sitting on right now. Okay. So here's an email that you can send to all the leads. You can take this and you can thank me later. Okay. But all the people that are on your database that never did anything with you, but they opted in for something, you can send them an email that says like, hey, Vince, are you still interested in hiring a personal trainer? And then just send them the question. Don't put a PS in. Don't put this. Don't put reply to this email. We'll just say, just throw out this question. And I promise you, you're going to start reactivating a ton of people, right? So it's not just about generating new leads. It's about looking at what you already have and leveraging what you already have. No one does this better than a guy named John Doherty. He is pretty amazing at this. He's got a gym in Frisco, Texas. He came to us doing 4,000 a month, and now he's doing over $100,000 a month. Great job, John. Okay, number four is we need to build a referral machine. Okay, there's three types of referrals. Okay, one is an accidental referral. This is someone that kind of calls you out of the blue. Two, passive referrals, someone that tells a friend about you and you call them. Say, hey, here's my number of my friend. Call them up. They want to train. And number three is the intentional referral. You do something to orchestrate the referral. Most people get referrals by accident. Most of the referrals that people get are what's called accidental referrals. What I want to teach you today is some tactics around intentional referrals. And what this means is you actually do things to orchestrate the referral process. Okay. And there's three parts of building this machine. One is the intentional tactics. Two is the gifting system. And a lot of times people like underestimate this. The gifting system is very, very powerful. And then three is omnipresence, how you're reminding your clients to refer you. Okay. So this is one of my most powerful referral strategies that I've ever used. And it's called the black metal card. And all it is it's a black metal business card that's a $500 value. And when we sign up a new member, what we do is we hand them this card. And on the back of the card, I should have showed you the back of the card. On the back of the card, there's actually a number. It's like 0007, 0008. So they have a specific number. It's like you are card number 0007. And I'm going to give you this one card. And what I'd like you to do is think about who you would like to gift this to because it's a $500 value and it's free for 1 month. And it's a really, really great gift. And so I think that someone's going to really enjoy living it. And I asked them this question, who would you like to gift this to. And then we get into a conversation about the person, and then we hold a whole process where we get connected with that person. But the key is there's a very specific thing that you do at a very specific time, meaning the point of sale. They just bought the membership, so they're really excited. And then you're prompting them with a question about the person, and you're prompting them with what's something that you could give them to give as a gift. You don't just ask for a referral. You give them something to give as a gift so they look like the hero. When people were handing these out, they were like feeling like awesome, like, oh my God, I can't wait to give out this black metal card. This thing's friggin' awesome. So that's the first strategy. That is an intentional tactic, though, where you're driving that because every time you sign up a new member, you're doing this process of sending a referral. It's intentional. It's not by accident. Okay. Second thing is bring a friend weeks. Okay. And these are specific weeks where you promote to your market that you're having, that they are able to bring a friend to a workout. Right. And you have specific sessions that you do this with. They can come to your normal sessions, whatever you want to do. But the key is there's an intention behind this because it's a specific week. Typically, I like to see my gyms do this about um, once a quarter. So one bring a friend week. And even if you got two people to convert to memberships per time that you do it, that's 8 new clients a year. It doesn't cost you anything to do this. This is one of the most powerful things that you can do. And one of the things that you're going to need to do for good marketing and marketing, especially to small group people, is to make sure that you are systematizing your marketing, meaning you're not reinventing the wheel. You're not just doing marketing. You're building a marketing strategy. And a marketing strategy is we do a bring a friend week 4 times a year at these specific weeks with these specific themes, with this specific promotional materials. That is when you will start getting good at marketing, is when you start to think about it like a process more than an event. Okay. And the last one is the referral conversation. And, for those of you that are watching this live, if I was to ask you, Rebecca or Dennis or Jeff or Koa, I think that's Josh, right? What's up, Josh? Liz, whoever is on this call. If I was to ask you if someone has told you, great job, I love your gym in the last 2 weeks, you'd probably say, hell yeah, of course they have, right? And the reality behind that is, what do you guys do? You're like, oh, shucks. You're so nice. You're so nice. Thanks so much. And then you go on with your day, knucklehead. No, that's a great opportunity to ask for a referral. They are happy. They're telling you they're excited. They're telling you their life is better because of you. And that is your opportunity. That is your invitation to ask for a referral. It doesn't happen if you don't ask. You have to ask. Okay. I just watched the documentary. There's a movie you should all watch, and it's called Air. And it's the story of Michael Jordan and Nike, where Nike touted Michael Jordan, but really in the reality, Michael Jordan touted Nike and created a completely game-changing relationship when Mrs. Jordan asked Nike if they would give Michael Jordan a percentage of every shoe sold. That was unheard of. No one had ever even heard of anything like that. They thought it was illegal. They didn't think it was actually possible to do. But Mrs. Jordan asked, and they said yes. And that year, Nike sold $162 million worth of Jordans, and Michael Jordan got a cut as a 23-year-old rookie on every one of them. And the rest is obviously history. But nothing happens if you don't ask. Okay? Now, what do you give them? At base level, you got to give them a handwritten note. At base level, you got to write them a note. Thank them for crying out loud. These people, if you did the math on what one referral is worth for you, you would definitely be sending thank you notes. At least. Think about this. In small group training at my gym, the average value is about $400 a month, and the average stay is 12 months. So think about that. That's close to $5,000 that a client is worth that. I'm not going to write them a note. I'm not going to write a thank you note to the person that referred me, a $5,000 client. No, you have to start looking at this from a numbers perspective. So at base level, you have to send people a handwritten note. And here's why you need to do this, because if you don't thank them, they're not going to continue to refer. In fact, they're going to refer someone to you and they're going to be ticked off that you didn't do anything and didn't even thank them. Right. Here's how, and the last piece is how to remind your clients. So we have the intentional tactics, we have the gifting system, right? And then we have how to remind your clients to refer. I'm moving a little quickly because I'm short on time. Okay. Usually I have a lot more slides than this. And the last piece is how you remind your clients to refer. So every quarter, I give my mastermind members a daily planner with my knucklehead cartoon face on it. Okay. What do I want to do? I want to give them a daily planner, but I also want them to think of me every time they open their backpack. I want them to think of me. And when people are on your mind, when your gym is on your client's mind, they are more likely to refer because all referrals happen from a conversation. And if your business is on their top of mind because they're wearing your t-shirt or they're using your shaker or you got your logo on their coffee mug and all that stuff, it's going to happen more often. So you have to start priming people for how to refer. Dr. Ben Quist went from losing 30K a month to profiting 30K a month. Great job, doctor. Okay, number 5, and this is the last one. We're going to build your angel list. If you put a gun to my head and you said, Vince, what's the one way you're going to get new clients or something bad is going to happen with this gun, this is what I would do. I would 100% go out and build an angel list. Okay, here's what this is. This is a list of 101 people, businesses, organizations that have access to your perfect client. It's a list of 101 people, businesses, and organizations that have access to your perfect client. So the number one thing you go back to is to point one, right? And you got to go back to point one. You got to understand and realize that the market and understanding your market and who that person is we're trying to attract is the most important part of all of this. Okay. But the second most important thing is, where are those people? Where do your clients get their haircut? Where do your clients grocery shop? Where do your clients get their meat? Where do your clients buy flowers? Where do your clients, go to the doctor? Where do your clients go to the chiropractor, the dentist, whatever? And start to understand, where do your perfect clients, what do they do? Where do they go? And then make the list of all the people and the businesses and the organizations that have lists of those people. You make a big list of them. And once you have that list, you're going to have one of the most powerful forms of leverage that you could possibly have. And that's other people's people, other people's clients, because they're the ones that spent all the time and all the energy, all the money to get it. And you can come right in and get access to it as well. Okay. I built an entire company on this strategy, a sports performance company on this strategy alone, where I went to local youth programs and I went to the guy that was in charge of the youth program and created a relationship with him. And he would send emails out to the athletes. And I built a very, very large sports performance practice on this very one strategy. So my advice to you guys is make that list. Make that list. Go to a whiteboard, sit down, write from 1 to 101 on there, and get as many salons, get as many school programs, get as many teams, get as many businesses, get as many local organizations, get as many charities, get as many things as you can down. And then one by one, start to spark up relationships with those people, and you will never want for more clients again. Okay. So, I know I went fast there, and I did my best, Liz, and I think I still went over a little bit of time that we wanted. But if you want more stuff from me, what I like to do is, if this was insightful, this was kind of getting the ball rolling for us. I've written 10 books, but I want to gift you 2 of them. I wrote The Ultimate Guide to Marketing Your Gym and The Ultimate Guide to Sales for Your Gym. And based on time, I scraped the surface of what I could teach you today. I just scraped the surface. My books go much deeper into all of this. So what I suggest you guys do is scan that QR code. It'll take you to a landing page. You just put your information into that page, and then we will send you the digital versions of both of these books, my Ultimate Guide to Marketing, Ultimate Guide to Sales. So I apologize. I talk fast. I wanted to make sure I got through everything really quickly. Liz, how did I do?
I think you did great. Hey, I lived
Okay.
in New York for 4 years, so I'm teaching in Kentucky right now, and they're like, slow down.
Yeah. Very cool.
I get it.
Awesome.
This is really, really great, though. I think this was some really good information. Looking at some of the comments and everything coming through, and I feel like it was really great for the audience and everything. So, everyone, don't go anywhere just yet. We're going to be moving into the Q&A portion of the webinar. So, from here, all I want to do is be able to answer any questions that came through. It looks like we have a couple. If you still have some questions that we don't get to, keep posting them. We can always send them to Vince once the webinar has concluded. So yeah, let's go ahead and first question. Do you feel like there is a sweet spot when you say small group training in terms of number?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I like the number six. And I've done four for a long time. We have gone up to six. The majority of my clients, we have 101 members of our mastermind. The majority of them that do small group training are between four to six
Mhm.
as a ratio. Though a couple numbers I don't like, I hate three because if you're going to do three, you might as well do four. Okay,
Mhm.
so you're leaving money on the table by doing three. There's no reason why you could do three, or you need to do three. And I think, I have some of my clients dabbling with seven right now.
Mhm.
I don't have enough insight to tell you if that's has affected attrition rate, because that's really what you got to look at. It's like, is the amount of people that you've got affecting and increasing the amount of attrition that you have? So that's, you always got to link it back to a specific number. Like if you can get away with 10 and everyone stays and everyone pays you $400 a month, I guess, yeah, go for it. You're doing great. But the reality of the situation is what small group training is really about is providing a very personal experience, almost like a one-on-one type of experience,
Mhm.
but doing it in a small group and doing it at a fraction of the cost, with also getting some of the community and the energy portion that comes with large group, right? So it's kind of like a double whammy on both of those situations. But I have found that six is kind of like a sweet spot. And at Kiss Marketing, we run the marketing for one of the fastest growing fitness franchises in the world. This will be the largest fitness franchise, I believe, in the world very soon. Okay.
Whoa.
And they do one on six. So
Mhm.
they ain't no dummies over there. They know what they're doing, and that's exactly what they do. Not to say that I have done between four to six since 2008.
Mhm.
So I'm not just making it up.
Yeah. So the next two questions there, I sometimes I do this when we get a lot of different kind of similar questions coming in. So those of you out there, if it's your question, I kind of combined it with a couple of others. So we had some people that were asking that have more kind of gyms that are geared more right now towards like CrossFit and things like that. They want to expand, right? Like they want to do a little bit more with small group, but they kind of want to maybe gear it towards a different population. And their concern is like, okay, I want to kind of go after a different market in my area, but how do I do that without having to like completely rebuild? Like how do I do that in terms of like, you know what I mean, with equipment and stuff like that? That was kind of the gist that I got from some of the questions. Does that make sense, Vince?
Yeah, I think so. So I'll try to do my best to answer it. So I think one of the things, if you're going to do small group well from a facility setup standpoint, what I would do is set up what we call it as a pod. And a pod is essentially a area of your gym. It can be as small as, I mean, ours are around 500 square feet, right? It can be smaller than that, but within that square footage, there's all the equipment and space you need to train X amount of people,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there's a dumbbell rack that can fit six people. There's a kettlebell rack. There's a functional trainer. There's medicine balls. There's all of what you need in that one specific area to be able to train that specific number of people. So I think that's one thing that they could do, and if they did CrossFit at the same time, it could separate them. And it doesn't mean they have to, only can't use that for CrossFit, right, on an off hour or something like that. It just means that that area is set up. The assignment I always give people is to, when they're talking facility setup, the
Mhm.
assignment I always give people is to watch the movie The Founder. Have you seen that, Liz?
Yes.
So the McDonald's movie, and
Yes.
there's a part in the McDonald's movie where they're on the tennis court, and what they're doing is they're creating the kitchens, they're building the custom kitchens, and they're putting like tape on the floor, and they're like, all right, the fryers go here, the milkshake makers go here, and then they're like doing this dance, and they're wandering all around and doing this dance, and then they found out the perfect situation and the perfect space for each thing after they rehearsed it a bunch of times. So I always have people do that and watch the movie The Founder to kind of get their mind, going. But I have had people rearrange their entire facility and then tell me, "Oh no, I can't train six people at once. My facility is too small, and I have moved some couple things around, and all of a sudden it's perfect."
Hmm. It's really about designating that spot, and saying if you're going to do small group, then you're going to do small group, right? Like you got to have that designation, and that can be tough to do, but that makes a lot of sense. Awesome. All right, last question that came in, same thing. I'm kind of, if it's your question, I did a little combo with a couple of other people's, but essentially kind of that asking of, setting yourself apart with pricing when you're competing with a lot of franchises in the area that, you know, maybe their pricing is able to be a little bit different because of their setup and things like that. Any thoughts on that? I know that
Yeah,
can be
lots,
a
lots.
loaded question.
All right. So here's the thing. My wife and I were getting ready for vacation. And when you go on vacation, there's like stuff flying around the house, there's bags everywhere, there's clothes everywhere. It's like messy, right? I don't know if you have animals, Liz, but we have animals. At the time, we had a cat and a dog,
Mhm.
and we go upstairs to um to get go to bed, and the cat had pooped on our bed. Like the cat had never pooped on our bed ever. Like, and I don't know what the heck happened, but I guess it got all flustered that we were going away or something like that, and it did that. It didn't want us to leave or something like that. I don't know for some reason. So my wife sends me out to Target to get a comforter because the cat pooped on the other one, right? And I have no idea. I've never bought a comforter before. I don't know what's good. I don't know what's not good, right? So there's three price points for the comforters. There's one that's like 20 bucks, there's one that's 50 bucks, and there's one that's 100 bucks. Which one do you think I bought? The one that's $100.
Mm.
Why?
Because it's probably
Because it's the best, right? And I think that that's what people don't understand is like you if you're going to go cheap, you better be the cheapest or you're going to get in big trouble.
Hmm.
I don't know of a small group gym that wants to be the cheapest. I think if they're doing small group training and they're trying to be the cheapest, they're playing the wrong game. And I don't think people understand that sometimes being really expensive actually can be a strength.
Hmm.
It can be a differentiator. I'm not saying you go gouge people and charge an ungodly amount of money, but I do think that for many, many people, the most expensive is synonymous with the best.
Hmm.
And I think people forget that with their pricing. So if they're trying to play a race to the bottom with small group training, it's going to be a long road. I think you're way better off going high, shooting way more, find a price that makes you very, very uncomfortable, right? And then get your program so good and convince yourself that it's worth it to you charge the right amount of money. But I'll tell you, the best way to make money is to have the right price.
Hmm.
The
For
best way to not make a lot of money is to have the wrong price.
Awesome, awesome. Well, those are all of our questions for today. So I want to thank Vince. This was such a great presentation. I'm so glad we were able to hang, and hopefully everybody else liked it as well. Any final words of encouragement, Vince?
No, I suggest you guys hopefully will scan the QR code and read the books. I would really love to it's kind of like the first step into our world. So my gift to you guys for taking time out of your busy day. So scan away and hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks, Liz.
Yeah. Absolutely. For everybody else listening, that does conclude our presentation for today. I'm going to be on the webpage for about another 10 minutes in case any other questions come in. So we're going to be following up a little bit later today since this is a live webinar, but you guys are going to be getting something to your inbox as of 5 o'clock today. So look for that. If you have any other questions, you can reply to that email and we'll get your information over to Vince. But thanks again for tuning in to this edition of the FBA webinar series, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Take care, everybody.